riders? It's Josh from CycleHunters.com. Check out this ride video that Matt has of the 2018 Triumph Street Triple RS.
Hello, riders and motorcycle fans! We're going to ride this beautiful Triumph Street Triple 765 RS. This is a 2018 model. A brief overview of the bike here. One actually interesting piece of information. I don't know if this is true, but it seems to be a trend. If your Triumph naked sport bike, which is what this is, says Street Triple, it's less than 900 cc's. If it says Speed Triple, it's more than 900 cc's. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's something that I noticed. So leave a comment down below if that holds true. But this is the 765 Street Triple. It's got a love it or hate it styling. I kind of dig it. You get, the mechanical aspect of it. You get a nice view of the engine there. This one does have an aftermarket exhaust. This has an M4 exhaust on it. And I think the mileage on this bike is really low. I think it's less than 2,500 miles on this one. I did just finish bleeding up the brakes on here, so I'm going to take this thing out for a test ride. It also needs some gas, so I'm going to take this out for a ride, make sure the brakes are working fine, make sure that everything else feels good on it. Everything that's supposed to work is going to work. It's one of the things that we do here at the shop before we put these things up for sale. So let me throw a leg over it. Now I'm 5'10", 5'11", depending on what convenience store I'm leaving at that day. And I fit nice and comfortable. Feet are flat on the ground when I'm sitting on this. Controls are really easy to manipulate here. I have full access to all the controls on the bike. So just looking at it here, nice, simple, clear, laid out. Start stop switch, starter button here. A lot of the newer manufactured bikes, other bikes coming out, have this integrated switch where the start button, cutoff switch, all is in one. Turn signals, horn, high beam switch, all this on the other side, left hand side here. You have several modes, several different things you can cycle through on the TFT display, which let's fire that thing up here. So like I said, 2,392 miles on the clock on this one, so really low mileage on this bike. Does look like we are going to need to get some gasoline, so I'll probably go get gas and then we'll go for a ride then. But let's just give you a brief overview of this. So TFT display, and if I walk it inside here, you'll see it's light sensitive. See if it does it. Of course, it's going to make me a liar this time, but typically when it's darker, there we go, the display changes, so it makes it easier to view at night versus daytime. So it's brighter during the day, a little bit dimmer at night, so it's not blinding you going down the road. Like I said, it happens, it's light sensitive, so whenever you get it back out into the light, it changes. So that's kind of cool. Nice, easy, clear to read display. The other thing about the display is it's adjustable, so for you taller riders, you can actually move the display up or down, and that's just by pulling this little lever here on the side. It just has some resistance wherever you set it, so it's not like it actually clicks into place. You can just move it up and down wherever you prefer. So let's fire this thing up. You do have to squeeze the clutch in. The exhaust on this thing sounds really good. Now I did ride this bike beforehand, so just wait till we go through the quick shifter, which this bike does have. It has a Triumph factory quick shifter installed on it. I don't know if that was a factory option or they all came with it, but this one does have it, and I'll tell you what, when we get it out on the road, it sounds amazing. So signals, left, right, easy to get to. Like I said, the high beam switch over here is on the front of the grip. On, off, you just pull it in both times, on or off. Horn, it's a horn. Front brake, back brake, they are adjustable, so you can adjust them in and out. Same with the clutch on this side. You can adjust the lever in and out depending on how long your fingers are. Just get it set up perfect for you. And a lot of manufacturers are doing this so that you get the ultimate fit to you experience. Now, I'm not going to go through anything on the display. I'll just leave what's up there. It does have a gear position indicator. I suspect it's going to have different ride modes, as a lot of these newer bikes do. You can kind of choose your adventure, if you will, and the ride modes are basically going to determine how effective the throttle is, because throttle is drive-by-wire, so you can make it less responsive, more responsive. It's kind of the cool stuff with the new technology. It probably has different levels of traction control and stuff like that, but if you really want to know about that stuff, just download a manual and go through all that stuff at your own leisure there. It does have a trip range. We're down to 27 miles of range, so I am going to fill this thing up before we go for a ride. And it does have an instant MPG gauge here, so as we're riding it down, you'll see what my instant mile per gallon is. But I'm going to turn you guys off right now, and we'll pick it back up after I get out of the gas station.
Remember to hit like and subscribe, ding that notification bell for updated content.
Alrighty, so leaving the gas station now. I just put 3.1 gallons of gas in the bike. A little bit of traffic here. So 3.1 gallons. I had about a 26 mile range when I filled it up, and now I have about 150 mile range. My screen actually changed too. So I guess when you need gas, your little gas light comes on, and when you don't, it tells you your average fuel economy as well as your current fuel economy, and that also displays the mileage range. So it looks like that stuff changes whenever you need gas. We're going to go back to this little road back here. Wait till you hear this quick shifter. Tell me that doesn't sound amazing. So being upright, having dirt bike style handlebars, you can very easily throw this thing into a lean. It does not take a huge amount of effort, and you actually have a lot of control with these handlebars. So I think one more time as we exit here. It's almost MotoGP-esque. Tell me that does not sound amazing. Triumphs just have this awesome sound to them, almost like an airplane at idle. It's just got that real awesome sound to it. And with this M4 exhaust on here, this thing sounds amazing. Now I don't know what mode it is in right now, but the throttle control feels really responsive. It seems to be pretty direct. Like when I roll on it, it seems to roll on it at the same rate. Yeah, I think it's definitely a fun little Hooligan bike for sure. Cornering is not going to be an issue on this bike. I think your biggest issue on this bike is keeping it at the speed limit. Now, speed limit on this road I think is either 35 or 40 miles an hour. And if you're to do that, we're cruising about 40, 45 right now. If we were to do the speed limit here, I probably wouldn't keep it in 6th gear. I'd probably drop down to 5th like that, and it's going to be a little bit more responsive, a little bit better going around. And even in 5th gear here, it looks like instant mile per gallon is about 57 miles per gallon. And on average, this bike looks like it's doing 37 miles a gallon. So, not too hateful. But as far as easy to handle, this bike feels extremely lightweight. The gas tank is very narrow. It narrows very well, so being able to grip this gas tank, between your legs to give you, less, to take the stress off of your arms and actually hold yourself up on the gas tank, It's very easy to do on this bike. It does not feel big at all. The controls are easy to reach, easy to manipulate. Almost like a soft touch. You know, you almost have to look down to make sure that you put your turn signal on, because it does not feel like you did. The display is very easy to see. One more time. So the display is very easily seen. Like I said, and it being adjustable, if I was a taller rider, you know, I could adjust that to my best position to where I could see it easily. Very bright, you know, very easily read. I can just take 2 seconds, look down, know what my speeds are, know where my fuel's at. So display is very nice on this bike. I said the handlebars, that's really personal preference. You know, if that's your thing, then these handlebars are great. If you're more of an upright, you know, relax your wrists, you're not leaning on your wrists and shoulder type bike, but still want to have fun in the twisties and still want that sport bike feel, these definitely do a good job of balancing the two. I said 6th gear above 45 miles an hour. You know, you can leave it in 6th. You don't really have to downshift, but if you're going a little less than 45, you know, you're cruising around in town, you probably want to keep it in 4th, 5th gear. We're probably better suited for that. Clutch feel, the clutch squeezes in real nice. It's got a nice soft feel, soft pull. It's not aggressive at all. Now if you do use your clutch on shifts, it is kind of abrupt. I think the quick shifter is kind of kicking in a little bit, especially at the lower RPM, so it would definitely take some getting used to make those shifts nice and smooth down low. But I think with a little bit of time, maybe 1 or 2 rides under your belt, I think you'd get it just fine. And realistically, if you're you know, wanting to get up to speed, it's so much more fun to use the quick shifter anyway. So yeah, like I said, speed limit here is about 35. If I put this up into 6th gear, it's a little bit luggy. But you put it down 5th or even 4th, it's not too obnoxious. People aren't going to think you're speeding, but you know, it gives you a decent amount of acceleration when you need it. Now, if you see this bike on our website, or you're watching this video within days of its release, it's more than likely the bike is still available. You just have to head on to CycleHunters.com, where we have the full list of our inventory up there. And if you have any questions on the bike, don't hesitate. Leave us an email, cyclehunters@gmail.com, or you could even comment on this video. We're very responsive on our videos. We try and get an answer out to you as soon as possible. If you like content like this, you know, as always, give it a thumbs up, like, share the videos. Anything you'd like to see on any particular bike, you know, we could do that. Anything you'd like us to talk about while we're riding the bike, we're definitely all ears. You know, we'd like to hear from you guys so we can make it better for you. All the bikes, though, that we sell all come with a 48-point checklist being done. Now, the 48-point checklist is where we go through the entire bike. First thing we do is we check it over for inspection, and we make sure that it will pass a Pennsylvania State Safety Inspection. That's tires, brakes, and anything that does not work well. Wheel bearings, anything of that nature. We also will do an oil change, and if a service is required, we will perform that service. We also clean, lube, adjust chains, and our goal at the end of our service is to give you a bike that you can just ride, and that is why we ride every bike that we service, to make sure that you're getting a good quality product. But if you're digging this bike here, I already mentioned the website. There'll be links in the video description. And yeah, this was a fun one here. If your thing is naked street bikes, This is definitely a fun one here for sure. But we'll catch you in the next video, guys. Cycle Hunters out.
When we service your bike, we hand you a key, not a need to have a toolbox. How about that?